Yes, I'm a papa. So phone, me person so phone. I can't be minute.
The matter chop hot.
Assembly Diloto. Hey! Aye!
From another eventful weekend, we are back live on Roland Reports. You see, this particular edition there, over the weekend, so many things happened. I wasn't able to actually bring you some updates. Not Tuesday, Kuchia Prodo, Ntino. Ejamanu Kuchia Prodo, ni na ka adwuma no. Say adwuma de yenye ni na iska. Some of them you have to go and tria Prodo small. It is done, but it is also accepted. My name is Roland Amati. Today I have a very interesting topic for you, of which I would want us to discuss. But then, don't forget that Shagzy has got us covered on this particular episode, as well as the Tekwashi Art Market also in the mix. Straight into today's topic. This is more or less going to be a recap of some of the things that happened over the weekend. And here, I want us to talk about Drop Stonebwoy hashtag that was trending online. Definitely, we all know this is a conversation that if you come to our side, and here I am talking about the Shatter Movement side, it is one that obviously I wouldn't say it's new to us, but we've seen so many of them. We've experienced so many of them year in, year out when it comes to quote and unquote some views of people that suggest that maybe our man or your favorite should not be put on a certain conversation, a certain gig, or should be dropped or should be taken away from either conversations. So some of us, it doesn't come as new. But then over the weekend, I am talking about the NDC, that is the victory party or the victory concert that happened at the Legon Stadium forecourt. This particular event is actually a celebration of the National Democratic Congress. Their win, they call it the 75% win of the recent general election. And out of that, they decided to hold a victory concert. On that particular concert, so many people were able to perform, from gospel musicians to secular artists, to so many of them, the likes of Rex Omar, Cecilia Mafo, Medical was even announced late. So many of them, including Nerex and all of you, all of them performed on the night. And of which, even before the performance, that was when a flyer was actually announced, and that flyer suggests that Stonebwoy, who happens to be the leader of the Benetton Music Group, was scheduled to perform on that particular event. Out of that, so many conversations came up with people suggesting to be part of the grassroots of the NDC, including Kevin Taylor, who is also a known broadcaster in the space but resides in America, also championing the cause that Stonebwoy should be dropped. And their reason was one pet that during the election time campaigning in Stonebwoy was not for them, even if he was when you need him during their struggling times. So now that it is time for them to enjoy, that is when our boy has been selected. No way they be that. Well, when you go online, it was one of the trending topics. Why Stonebwoy should be added to this particular event. And out of that, even they released a statement to that effect, also suggesting that Stonebwoy has been dropped from that particular instance. Well, for what it's worth, the event also came on. The event definitely came on. It was scheduled to happen on the 5th of January, that is at the Legon Stadium forecourt. It happened. So many people performed, of which even Medical actually gave a shout out to his brother and a friend, Shatawale, even for performing with Vibes Cartel over the 31st into the new year. Well, that's what some few ones. Let's go and watch some highlights. When we come back, the conversation continues.
Energy. 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 Yeah. One, two, three. Let me tell you where I'm get it. From the back to the middle to the back to the left to the right and stop. Say what? Big two. Big two. Outside my room. Hold up. Remember to this everywhere. No me yes, 2 wedding out of them. So the music money be 20%. Black order, I mean, it's just a man. There's people do the because the woman can say, but it doesn't make a chance out of me. Yes, I'm here, Papa. So phone, me person so phone. I come a minute. So phone, and yes, yes, to say. And yes, I never know. But yeah, Papa. Because then you make us a young man. We like now what's on. It's no man to my young Papa over here. I'm yet a yes, somewhat castle. And what then I'm a sack, and I'm also so. Sister, so what will be no one idea. And you're now,
these are some few highlights, bits and pieces from what they call the Ghana Victory Concert. Well, some people have tagged it political, of which it was, because when you look at how the conversation panned out, obviously, as much as it had Ghana's name on it, definitely this was also politically motivated. And in such instances, if you ask me whether dropping him was fair or not, for me, I think it wasn't fair. From where I sit, I think it wasn't fair. But then, the people that also took that decision will also tell you they have a genuine cause, of which they've actually stated it out. People would also ask, so does that mean that Stonebwoy doesn't have fans or NDC grassroots anymore? Well, the answer is definitely no. So it's also begs another question asking that, so what would be the conversation of them? And the people who actually performed on the night, did they actually deliver to the satisfaction of what the grassroots actually wanted? Well, if you were there, maybe you can share your views in the comment section. Let me hear from you. Let me know if indeed the people that were present on the night, the people that were on stage from all angles, did they actually perform to the satisfaction of the supposed grassroots people that were championing? Because, you see, some of us think this is not fair because, you see, if you are the receiving end of such conversations, sometimes it is very painful. Let me not say sometimes. I think all the times it is very painful. And here, I can recollect so many of these instances. But on top of head, just few recent ones has to do with the battle between the Shatter Movement and the Stonebwoys group during the NSA conversation from the Freedom Wave and the Abenitan, the Beam Fest, whatever conversation that happened at the stadium time when Shatter Movement wanted to have a Freedom Wave concert or Freedom Wave festival. The whole back and forth of which even President's daughter even had to come in the mix, play some chords and pull some strings, and order from above actually prevented us from actually holding that concert. It is no different from what is happening. And again, even not long ago, I think before the last quarter of last year, another encounter also happened at the Legon school, where even these two artists were supposed to perform at two different halls. But then one was able to pull a string and the other was not able to perform, of which we had to be at the receiving end. In all some of these, I can name so many of them. In all these conversations, if you are the receiving end, it is not a proper thing to, like, it is not something good to experience, if you ask me. Which is why even when it was happening to us, or it was happening to Shatawale, and he was actually complaining, of course, some of the Solomons in the industry also said, oh, either they kept quiet or they said Shatawale was just ranting. But then, now that the tables have turned, and it's somebody else that is Stonebwoy that is at the receiving end now, people seems to have found their voices one way or the other. People are talking. People are actually sharing what they are supposed to share. People are now seeing the dangers of some of these other from above actually controlling the things that we do in the space. Yes, we may have our differences. We may have certain things that we may not agree on. But how do we also sit down, for some of these political influences enter into the decisions of some of the things that we do. Because as far as some of us are concerned, during election time, so many artist songs were played. So many of them, including that of Stonebwoy. So if today a concert is being held and he is announced and the grassroots or a supposed grassroots says drop him and he's being dropped, well, for whatever the conversation is, for me, I will leave it to them. Stonebwoy has come to quote Bible quotation. I mean, just one and you turn pastor already. And the other day they talk to us, Stonebwoy better sorry. Well, at the end of the day, say, if you are the one receiving it, definitely you know how it feels. So me, my word on this particular conversation is just one. As an entity, as an industry, sometimes you may not like the person, but if the person is receiving an unfair treatment, the fact that you may not like the person doesn't mean the person do not have a cause to complain. If you think Stonebwoy's complaint is legit today, and you were not fair to Shatawale back then when he was complaining about political influences, then shame on you. Because it is this same conversation flipped upside down. And now it is today another person in that same conversation. Well, moving forward, God being so good, we have some few people who also are from the entertainment fraternity entering into parliament. And hopefully, we hope that moving forward, some of these conversations may change. But if they do not, when tomorrow another person also becomes a victim of these circumstances, what are some of the things that we are going to talk about? Share your views in the comment section. Let me hear from you. Let me know what you think about the topic that was discussed today on this particular episode. This is just some bits and pieces of what happened over the weekend. I will meet you on the other side. Bye-bye.
Christmas, I got the kito. Yeah, but no sign, yeah, but she. Oh, yeah, I feel soon to be a back on the road.